Hello class, this is a video tutorial on equations. In this video we're going to look at solving equations with pronumerals on both sides. We can solve equations with pronumerals on both sides by treating those terms as numbers. You're going to see what I mean about this in a moment. What we must remember is that we should collect terms such that pronumerals are on one side of the equation and numbers are on the opposite side of the equation. These 2 points will make a lot more sense as we get into the examples. Here we go. So here I have 6 examples, and at any point in the video you can pause it and give it a go yourself. Here we go. In this first example, I'm going to demonstrate to you what I mean about treating these terms, the ones with letters on them, as if they were numbers. What we want is we want letters on one side and the numbers on the other. So notice how we have x on the left and the right. What we want to do is we want to remove this 4x, and how we do that is we subtract the very term 4x like so. Since this is a term of x, it must be underneath also the like term of x like so. Since we subtract 4x, this term is completely gone, which leaves us with positive 7 on the left hand side. 6x, take away 4x, is 2x. This plus 3 carries along with it. Now, since we have the letters or the pronumerals on the right hand side, we need to eliminate this number, plus 3. And now we can treat this as a regular equation by doing the opposite. Plus 3, the opposite of that is minus 3. We minus 3 on both sides, we get 4 equals 2x. Now we divide both sides by 2, which will give us 2 is equal to x, which is just as a valid solution as the previous ones, or we can simply flip this around to get us x is equal to 2. We can flip the equation around to make it read from left to right. Let's do this again, but this time, rather than have the letters on the right hand side, we can do this the exact same way by moving this term plus 4y to the opposite side. Let's take a look at what happens here. Plus 4y, so we're going to subtract 4y like so on both sides. 7y take away 4y gives us 3y. Everything else will copy down. Minus 2 has not been changed. Equal sign stays where it is. 13. And this plus 4y is no longer there. So now we solve like a regular equation. We add 2 to both sides. This will leave us with, well, this minus 2 is gone. Leaves us with 3y equals 13 plus 2 is 15. And now we divide by 3, so it gets y over 15 divided by 3 is 5. So I invite you now to pause the video at any time and give this a go yourself. I'm going to be solving this in a rather fast pace in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. In this one, I'm going to put the letters on the right hand side by subtracting 3d. So I'm going to subtract 3d. 3d is now gone. Negative 5 stays where it is because it's minus 5. 5d, we're going to to subtract 3d, which gives us 2d, plus 9, which has not changed. We're going to subtract 9 on both sides, which means negative 5 subtracted by 9 is negative 14 equals 2d. Dividing both sides by 2, d is by itself. Negative 14 divided by 2 is negative 7. Or we can read this from left to right as d is equal to negative 7. Moving right along. In this one, I'm going to put my letters, on the left-hand side. So I'm going to subtract 4. So minus 4h. h minus 4h is negative 3h, and everything else copies except for this plus 4, because we subtracted 4h. We're going to now subtract 7, which leaves us with negative 3h is equal to minus 5 minus 7 is minus 12. Dividing both sides by negative 3, h will be negative 12 divided by negative 3 is positive 4. Moving on to our next question here. We have, let me move the light just a little bit here. For this, I'm going to move my letters again to the left-hand side. Since this is minus 2x, the opposite of this is plus 2x. So plus 2x here is going to give us 10x. Then everything else copies, so it's plus 7 equals 4. We're going to subtract 7 from both sides. Okay, subtracting 7 from both sides will give us 10x is equal to 4 take away 7. Well, 7 take away 4 is 3, but 4 take away 7 must be negative 3. Dividing both sides by 10 gives us x is equal to negative 3 over 10. I'm going to leave my answer just as a fraction like so. For this last one, I'm going to, just to change things around, I'm going to add 5b. I'm going to move my pronumerals to the right hand side. So adding 5b, so since I add 5b, that's the opposite of this one, which means 12 remains where it is. 3b plus 5b, it's the opposite, gives us 8b, and this copies minus 6. The opposite, now I want to move my numbers to the right, from the right hand side to the left. Since this is minus 6, we're going to add 6. Okay, negative 12 plus 6 is 18 equals 8b. Dividing both sides by 8 gives us 18 over 8 is equal to b. I'm just going to flip this around. So b is equal to, now I'm going to simplify this. I know it's very confusing. Dividing both sides by 2 gives us 9 over 4. Hope that gave you an insight into solving equations with pronumerals on both sides of the equation. Best of luck.